Have you ever looked up at the night sky and just felt safe? For generations, we've been told the cosmos is this beautifully ordered machine, ruled by elegant, unbreakable laws of physics. It's a really comforting thought. But what if it's a lie? What we're about to explore today isn't a map of the stars. It's a cosmic crime scene. We're going to look into the deep shadows between those stars, at phenomena that flat out refuse to conform to reality as we understand it. These are clues to a terrifying puzzle that we are entirely unequipped to decipher. Seriously, ask yourself, what if everything we know is wrong? I want you to just sit with that for a second. What if our entire understanding of physics, of matter, of our actual place in the universe is nothing more than a comforting bedtime story? Prepare yourself, because that comforting illusion of a logical universe, it's about to be completely shattered. We're embarking on an investigation into what we call the broken reality mystery. And as we dig into the evidence, you're not just going to see dry scientific data. No, you're going to see phenomena that violently violate the laws of physics. You're going to see actual evidence that the cosmos itself is fundamentally broken, leaving behind this incredibly eerie trail of breadcrumbs for us to find.
Act 1. Whispers in the Dark. The Anomalies.
You see, before the universe tears itself apart, it whispers. For decades now, the scientific community has been trying to keep a lid on this growing, unspoken panic. Just look at how the pace is accelerating. From 1977 to 2017, impossible anomalies have increasingly punctured our reality, entirely defining every single attempt at a rational explanation. It's like the universe is glitching, and the glitches are happening faster and faster. It all started with a whisper. On August 15, 1977, a 72-second radio signal hit the Big Ear telescope in Ohio, and it was so perfectly structured that astronomer Jerry Amon literally circled it in red ink and just wrote one word: wow. Now, why was he so shocked? Because that transmission came in at exactly 1420 megahertz. That is the precise hydrogen emission line. It's literally the exact, universal frequency scientists theorized an alien civilization would use to say, hey, we're out here. And then, dead silence. In 45 years of relentless searching, it never repeated. Why did they stop talking? But the mystery gets even stranger. Fast forward to 2017, and the anomaly actually physically entered our solar system. Normal comets, they accelerate when the sun heats their ice, right? It creates this rocket-like exhaust. But our first confirmed interstellar visitor, Oumuamua, it was shaped like this bizarre, elongated cigar, and it accelerated with absolutely zero detectable exhaust. No tail, no gas, literally nothing. It defied natural physics so completely that Harvard astronomer Avi Loeb proposed a genuinely chilling hypothesis. He suggested Oumuamua wasn't a rock at all. He said it was an artificial alien light sail, and right before we could catch it to find out for sure, it slipped back out into the void. And that's where reality begins to break down even further. Look at this number, 22%. In 2015, scientists were watching this distant sun called Tabby star, and they noticed it was suddenly losing up to 22% of its light. To put that into perspective for you, if our absolute largest planet, Jupiter, crossed in front of a star, the light would dim by maybe 1%. You would need 22 Jupiters passing by at the exact same time to create this effect. Under normal astrophysics, that is completely impossible. Which leads to a terrifying theory. What if we were watching a Dyson swarm? An actual alien megastructure actively harvesting the energy of its own star. So what happens when the universe breaks its own rules? Because, those first few clues, they were just localized anomalies, fleeting visitors, distant shadows. But we need to escalate the stakes here. What happens when the phenomena aren't just isolated events, but massive, permanent, physical scars woven into the very fabric of the cosmos? Act 2. Scars in the Cosmos, the Macro Horrors. We're moving from whispers in the dark to true macro horrors. Look at these colossal wounds in the darkness. We have the Fermi bubbles. These are structures of unimaginably violent gamma radiation that span 50,000 light-years, erupting right out of the center of our own Milky Way. And yet, they were completely hidden in plain sight until 2010. But honestly, even more unsettling is the Eridanus supervoid. It's an area a billion light-years across that contains almost nothing. It is a cosmic desert so unfathomably massive that thousands of galaxies are just mysteriously missing. It's an emptiness that theoretical physics says flat out shouldn't be able to exist. And this next discovery perfectly illustrates where the dread truly sets in. They call it the axis of evil. Cosmologists were mapping the cosmic microwave background. That's the oldest light from the Big Bang, 13.8 billion years old. And what they found is that its largest temperature structures perfectly align with the orientation of Earth's solar system. Just let that sink in for a second. This completely violates the cosmological principle. That's the very foundation of modern astrophysics, which states the universe has no center and absolutely no preferred direction. This bizarre alignment raises the deeply uncomfortable, almost unthinkable possibility that Earth genuinely occupies a special, privileged position in the cosmos. But nestled right within that ancient radiation is something arguably much worse: the cold spot. It's a massive 1.8 billion light-year wide temperature drop. Now, the probability of this forming naturally in our universe is less than 2%. So, if it's a statistical impossibility, what exactly is it? Well, some researchers propose a genuinely chilling theory. They think it's not a natural feature at all. It's a cosmic bruise, a literal, physical scar left behind on the fabric of our reality from a violent collision with a parallel universe. We're tracking all these clues, right? Alien megastructures, missing galaxies, scars from parallel dimensions. But what scientists discovered next shocked everyone. Because what if the phenomena we can actually observe are just distractions? What if the darkness itself is the biggest threat?
Act 3. The Phantom Universe, the Deepest Unknown.
We have finally arrived at the deepest unknown. The revelation that the reality you and I experience every single day is essentially an illusion. On one side, we have everything we can see, touch, measure, and understand. Every human being, every planet, every single glowing star in the sky. But on the other side is the invisible universe, completely ruled by hostile phantom forces. We take comfort in the visible world, but guys, that comfort is a lie. Look at this. See that tiny 5% sliver? That's ordinary matter. That is us. That is literally everything we have ever known or observed. 95% of the cosmos is made of something we cannot see, cannot touch, and cannot detect: dark matter and dark energy. The terrifying, undeniable truth is, we are living inside a giant machine where 95% of the parts are completely invisible to us. The veil actually began to lift back in the 1970s with astronomer Vera Rubin's discovery. She was mapping spiral galaxies and realized they were spinning so insanely fast that their outer edges should be violently flinging apart into the empty void. And yet, they stayed completely intact. The math was totally unambiguous here. An invisible ghost possessing massive gravitational pull is somehow holding them together. We call it dark matter, but you have to understand that's just a placeholder name for our profound ignorance. We have never directly detected a single particle of this stuff, not one. And this profound ignorance, it builds to an absolute breakdown in human logic. When theoretical physicists tried to calculate the density of the other invisible force, dark energy, the actual energy of empty space itself, they came up with a number. But when they measured reality to check their work, their calculation was wrong by 120 orders of magnitude. That is a 1 followed by 120 zeros. It is universally considered the worst theoretical prediction in the entire history of physics. Our fundamental understanding of reality isn't just slightly off, it is catastrophically blind.
A terrifying, inevitable end. The Big Rip.
And the implications are terrifying. Because this phantom force of dark energy isn't just peacefully sitting there on the dark. It is aggressively pulling the universe toward a horrifying conclusion known as the Big Rip. You see, dark energy is accelerating the expansion of the universe, and we are hurtling toward a violently destructive end. It begins slowly. First, distant galaxies recede faster than the speed of light, literally disappearing beyond our cosmic horizon forever. We just become isolated in the dark. Then the acceleration overwhelms local gravity. Entire solar systems are torn apart. The planets themselves are shattered into dust. And in the final, unimaginable moments, the phantom force becomes so extreme that it shreds reality down to the molecular level. The very atoms that make up you and me violently rip themselves apart.
So, we're standing here at the edge of a cosmic abyss, looking at impossible clues we simply cannot decipher, accelerating toward an end we absolutely cannot prevent. And it raises an even bigger question. If 95% of reality is ruled by phantom forces that are actively pulling us toward absolute destruction, are we just ghosts in a machine we were never meant to understand?